Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Susie from Susie's Room for Crochet and I'm here today with another tutorial for you. So the other day I showed you how to crochet this pink ribbon which is worn for breast cancer awareness, and today I'm going to show you how I crocheted the scarf that I made for myself. So if you can see closely, it has the little pink ribbons crocheted into it. And I'm going to show you how to do this now. So for this project you would need some yarn in pink and white. You will also need a darning needle, a pair of scissors, and I used Aran weight yarn for this scarf and a 4.5mm crochet hook. And I actually crocheted this scarf in 2 panels and joined them together so that I will get the bows going the same direction on each end when you wear it. But if you don't mind the ribbons going all one way, you don't have to do it in 2 pieces. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I will show you how to make it in 2 pieces and then join together. So if you want to grab your pink yarn, we're going to start off by making a slip knot, and you can do that however you prefer. And then what we're going to do is chain 23. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue on chaining until you reach your 23 chains. Okay, so here I have my 23 chains, and what we're going to do is just turn our chains over so you can see these little back bumps on the back. I'll just show you like here, here. These are like the back bumps of the stitch. Like this is the front of the stitch and those are the back bumps. And what we're going to do is we're going to double crochet in the 4th stitch from the hook. So that's 1, 2, 3. This is our 4th one here. So yarn over, insert your hook into that back bump, grab the yarn and pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's a double crochet, and this chain of 3 that we've missed counts as our first double crochet. So again, you're going to yarn over, go into the next stitch, the back bump, grab the yarn, pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and you're going to continue along, going into each of the back bumps all along your chain until you reach the end, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. So you continue on crocheting a double crochet into each back bump all along the way, and I'll be back soon. 21. Right, so that's how you should be looking now. At the end of this row you should have 21 stitches. And now what we're going to do next for row 2, this is a 3-row repeat pattern, by the way, so that is row 1. And now what we're going to do is chain 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's 15 chains. You're then going to skip 3 stitches, not including this one because that is your first stitch. So you count 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th double crochet you're going to insert your hook and just do a slip stitch, and then you're going to chain 15 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then you're going to skip 3 stitches again. So that's the stitch that you're in. So you count 1, 2, 3. My hooks come out. Okay, we're counting 1, 2, 3, skipping and going into the 4th stitch with a slip stitch. And this is how you're going to continue on, chaining 15, skipping 3 stitches and single crocheting into the next stitch. And you continue along your double crochets, and I'll be back just before we get to the end to show you how we're going to finish this row. Okay, I've done my last chain of 15. I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3 stitches, yes, and into that top of the chain 3, the very first chain 3 that we did, we're going to do a slip stitch, and that's how your work should be looking for row 2. Now for row 3, we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're going to turn our work, and you're going to take this loop and just cross it with your fingers, hold it there, insert your hook into that space and do a single crochet, and then you're going to put another 2 single crochets into that space. So insert your hook, grab the yarn, pull through 2, insert your hook, grab the yarn, pull through 2. That is 3 single crochets in that space, and now you're going to chain 1. Then you're going to move to the next chain space things that you did, cross it over again, insert your hook into the space and do 3 double crochets. Try and keep your double crochets as near to the center of the bow that you can. Chain 1 again, move to the next set of double chains, insert your hook after crossing it over into the center, grab the yarn and pull through, single crochet, single crochet, single crochet and chain 1. Then we move into the next one, cross it over, single crochet 3 times, and chain 1, and in the last one again, cross it over, insert your hook and put 3 single crochets in, but we're not going to chain 1 at the end of this row. What we're going to do is a double treble. So you're going to wrap the yarn round 1, 2, 3 times, insert your hook into the bottom of that first chain 7 that we did, grab the yarn and pull up a loop. You'll have 5 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2, and that's how we finish that row 3. Now we're going back to the beginning, so we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn our work, and then we're going to put a double crochet in each stitch, not this first stitch, though this chain 3 counts as the first stitch. So insert your hook into the next stitch and do a double crochet. So into these 3 single crochets that you did, you're going to place a double crochet in, and remember we did a chain 1 in between, but we're not going to struggle and place our hook in that chain 1. We're just going to insert our hook into that space and do a double crochet, and then double crochet into the next 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and do a double crochet into that space, and then double crochet along into your single crochets again. And this is how you're going to work your way along, doing double crochets into the 3 single crochets that you did, and don't forget to do a double crochet in this space to count for the chain 1 that you did. And I'll meet you back at the end of the row to show you how we're going to finish. Okay, I'm almost at the end of my row. I've done my 3 double crochets in my last 3 single crochets, and then we're going to place a double crochet in the top of that chain 7 that we did, and that will be our last double crochet, and that's how you should be looking. And now all we're going to do is repeat the next 3 rows again. So you start off again by chaining 15, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then we don't count that one because this is the stitch for that first stitch. So we skip 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th we do a slip stitch. So you're just repeating what you did on row 2, and continue along, and I'll meet you back at the end to show you once more how we're going to start off the next row. So I'm almost at the end of row 2, so I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3 stitches, and into the last stitch there I'm going to do my slip stitch and chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn our work, and like you did on row 2, you cross these over, insert your hook into the space and do 3 single crochets, chain 1, move to the next one, 3 single crochets, and that's how you work your way along. Don't forget your chain 1s in between these stitches. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, cross the next one over, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, cross the last one over, 1, 2, 3, and instead of chaining 1 we do our double treble where we wrap the yarn round 3 times, insert into the base of that first chain 7 that we did and pull through 5 loops on the hook, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, and that completes row 3. And then we're back to the beginning again, where you chain 3 and double crochet in each stitch, remembering where your chain 1s are to do a double crochet in the space. And you just repeat these rows over and over again until you get your scarf to the length that you want. For my scarf, I did 18 of these repeats per panel. But if you don't want to do your scarf in 2 pieces, you can just make yours to the length that you want it to be, and then meet me back here and I'll show you how I did the border on mine. But if you're doing it in 2 pieces, I will also show you how to join yours together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another 1 more set of these and make another panel, and then I'll be back to show you how we're going to join the 2 panels together and do the border. So you continue on with yours and meet me back here when you're ready. I just also want to say, when you're doing the double crochet row, which is like the first row that we started, and what we do in between these ribbons is double crocheting, but when you are on the last set of your panel, so like as I told you, I did 18 on mine, so you have to finish on this row. But what I did for the join is, instead of it being double crochets on the last one, I did single crochets, just so that each panel would be like the size of a double crochet. And I mean, you can't really see my join at all, so if I show you the panels, this is my join row, and it looks exactly like the other rows, like size wise you can't really tell. So make sure the last double crochet, where your double crochet row would be, you do single crochets. And if you're not going to do it in 2 panels, just end with the double crochet row as you would. Okay, I have my work here, and I've done a single crochet instead of a double. I've only done like a short piece of scarf, like 2 panels, just so that I can show you how to join it and how to do the seam now. So I'm just going to do a chain 1 and fasten off here. Actually, I'm going to, when you finish, if you're joining, just leave a long piece for actually joining, like to join your work. And then just snip and pull through. And what we're going to do is make sure that you have the right side of your work facing. Let's get that out of the way. This is my other panel, and that's the right side, so we're going to put that way, so that way you can see that the bows are going in the same direction. I hope you can see that. The bows are going in the same direction. This will need a little bit of blocking as well, but I'll tell you how to do that at the end of this video. So now what you're going to do is get your darning needle and just thread that long piece of yarn that you saved, and I'm going to just turn my work this way and hope that you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the furthest end of the stitch, so the back of the stitch, the back of that stitch, and come through the front of the opposite stitch, and then go through the back of that stitch and through the front of this stitch, through the back of that one and the front of that one. The back of that stitch and the front loop of that one. And this is what we're going to do. You can see it gives you that almost invisible seam. I hope you can see that. So go through the back stitch and the closest loop of that side, and just keep doing this all the way along until you come to the end, inserting your needle into the back of the further piece of work and the closest loop to you. I'm just going to bring this up a little bit closer to the camera so you can see what I'm doing a bit better. Through that stitch and through that part of the stitch, and just pull that snug, and you can see you cannot see the join really. So continue all the way along, and I'll meet you back when we get to the end. I'm in my last stitch now, and that is that. And then what I'm going to do is just go through that with my needle and just leave it like that. And as you can see, that now looks like a double crochet row, and you cannot really see the join. So now what we're going to do is just pick any corner of your work and grab your white yarn. I've got mine here. I know that's not Aran weight, right? I've got my white yarn here, and what you're going to do is make a slip stitch and keep that on your hook. And then what you're going to do is find your corner stitch, which is that one from me. Actually, if you go into where you finished off, you might find it a little bit easier. So this is the front of my work. Make sure your work is facing the right side, and you'll know that with your tail to the left of you. So insert your hook into that first stitch, grab the yarn. Sorry, no, we're not doing it with the white. That's a mistake. I do beg your pardon. Grab your pink yarn, make a slip knot, and insert that into your first stitch. Grab the yarn. You'll have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through. That's a single crochet, and you're going to just place a single crochet in each stitch along, and you should have 21 stitches again. So continue working your way along, and when you get to the end of these stitches, I will show you what we're going to do next. But carry on with your single crochets, and I'll meet you back here at the end of this row. Okay, I've done 21 single crochets along here. I'm at the end of this row, and what I'm going to do now is chain 1 and put 2 single crochets into this space here, which is our double crochet row. And then in this chain 7 chain space, we're going to put 4 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, actually 5 double crochets. 5 double crochets in that space, and then when you come to the next chain 2, sorry, double crochet, it's 2 double crochet, 2 single crochets into the next space, 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, if I said double crochets for up here, I meant single crochets. So this row is all single crochets. Into the next double crochet row, 2 single crochets. Into the next big chain space, you'll put in 4 single crochets. Two in the chain. Well, this is actually where I joined. So where I joined, I'm just going to put 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. And then we come to the big chain space. So I'm going to carry these tails with me and put 5 double crochets in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we come to our double crochet row. We put 2 single crochets in there. And then in the big chain space, 5 single crochets. And this is how you're going to continue along, doing 5 single crochets in the large chain spaces, and where you have your double crochet row, you just put 2 in. So work your way along, and if you've joined, remember, just put 3 single crochets along there, but it's 2 at every double crochet row and 5 in the big spaces. So work your way along, and I'll meet you back at the end of my row to show you how we're going to turn the corner. So I'm almost at the end here. I've come to my last double crochet row, so we're going to put 2 double crochets in there. Then you're going to chain 1 and put another double crochet in there just for the corner. And then we're going to work into these stitches here where you should have 21 stitches. You're going to single crochet into each one of these stitches, but you can just take the first loop because they are a bit tight. So just take the first loop and do your 21 single crochets along here. And when I get to this corner, I'll show you how we're going to work the corner. Okay, I've done my 21 single crochets along here. I'm now going to chain 1 and put 2 single crochets into this double crochet row, and then off we go again into the bigger space with our 5 single crochets. 5 single crochets and 2 single crochets in the double crochet row. So work your way all the way along your edge until you get to where we started, and I'll show you how we're going to finish that corner. Okay, I've done my last 2 single crochets in the double crochet row, and now I'm going to chain 1 and into this first single crochet that we did here, I'm just going to do a single crochet, and that finishes all the way around. I mean, this scarf is a little bit small, but yours will obviously be like a lot bigger. So now we're going to do one more round of single crochets. So chain 1, and into that very first single crochet that you did, you're going to put a single crochet in, and then single crochet all the way along the top again into every stitch until you get to the other corner, and I will show you how we're going to work the corners, and this will be the same for all of the corners. So meet me back here when I get to the end, and I'll show you how we're going to do it. I've worked my way into my last single crochet. I'm going to put another single crochet in there, so that's 2 in the last stitch. Then do a chain 1 and continue on along into every single crochet. Just single crocheting into every single crochet all the way along, and this will just straighten up the edge a little bit because it is a little bit curly, but when you block it, it will also do the same. So work your way along down to your next corner, and I'll show you one more time how to work the corner, and then you can go all the way back to the start yourself. Okay, I've come to my last single crochet on this row. You'll know when you reach it because you have that little chain 1 that you did in between your stitches. So now I'm going to put another single crochet in the same stitch, chain 1, and then just continue on around this corner until I reach the next corner. So work your way around like this, and I will meet you back when I've got all the way around to show you how we're going to do the final round of our border. Okay, I've done my last single crochet. I'm just going to do a chain one and insert my hook into that first single crochet that we did and do a slip stitch, and then just do a little chain one and draw your yarn up and snip, and that completes the last round of this border. Now what we're going to do next is grab your white yarn, and what we're going to do is just a slip stitch row around the scarf, just to give it this nice little trim border, which just finishes it off a little bit nicer. So what we're going to do is do a slip knot and then insert your hook into that first chain that you finished in, and just draw your yarn through. You'll have 2 loops on the hook, and just draw through 2, and then go into the next stitch and just slip stitch. Insert, grab the yarn and slip stitch, insert, grab the yarn and slip stitch. And this is all you're going to do. Try not to do it too tight. Try and keep it like nice and even into every stitch. So work your way along, and I will show you what I did when I reached the corner. So slip stitch all the way along into each stitch and meet me back just before you get to the end of this row. Okay, I've done my last slip stitch of this side. Before we turn the corner, what we're going to do is we're going to do a chain one and insert your hook back into that same stitch that you did the last slip stitch in, and slip stitch, and then you can continue along doing your slip stitches, but that just makes the corner a little bit square rather than rounded. So continue along this side now until you get to the end, and I'll show you one more time how to do the corner. But if you can remember, just go ahead and carry on all the way around, but do your slip stitches all the way along this side and meet me back when you get to the end of this side. Okay, again I've reached the end of my side, so we're going to do a chain one and insert our hook back into that last stitch that we slip stitched in and do a slip stitch, and then carry on working our way along to the next side. And you can see it just finishes off that corner nice and squarely instead of making it rounded. So work your way all the way around, and when you get to the beginning where you started at the end of this side, I will show you how we're going to finish off. Okay, I've reached the last stitch of this side. I'm going to insert my hook into that first stitch that I did, my very first single crochet. Place a single crochet in there, chain one, and then just insert your hook into the first single crochet that you did and pull through, pull that yarn up and snip, and that finishes off your corner. And that's more or less your scarf done. Obviously mine's just a mini scarf, but you can see what it looks like, and all you need to do now is just either damp it down and either pin it out, or what I did with mine is I just dampened a cloth and put it over and just went over it with a warm iron. But you have to be careful not to have the iron too hot, otherwise it will melt the yarn. And what it will do will just stretch out these little bows a bit. But if they're not quite centre, and you can see one side is going down this way, and if I turn the other side, it's going down the right way. So imagine that round your neck, the bows will be going down the same way either side if you do it in 2 panels like I showed you. So I hope you've been able to follow along and you've enjoyed this little tutorial. If you do make a scarf like this, I'd love to see yours, so it would be nice if you could tag me. And thank you all for watching, and I'll be along very soon with another tutorial for you all.